Hello, everyone. Welcome to It Came From the Radio's 58th live show, courtesy of the East Meadow Public Library. This is the behind-the-scenes recording. This is going to be posted on our YouTube page. This is Mark Torres speaking, and I have our special guest who we're talking to with and about is none other than Cristian Aluas. Say hi, Cristian.
Hi, Cristian.
So as I mentioned, this is going to be our live show, courtesy of East Meadow Public Library, and we're going to start right now. Hold on. Hit the button.
The following is brought to you in part by MFC Studios. The views of the show's host and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management, owners, or staff of this radio station. And now, it came from the radio.
Yapatoy, and welcome once again to It Came From the Radio, the official of the Big Apple Con. This is your host, Mark Torres speaking. We are here live, virtual distancing, of course, courtesy of the East Meadow Public Library for our 58th live show. And I am here with our special guest who we're going to be talking to, with, and about, which is awesome because he's right here. We have Cristian S. Aluas. Say hi, Cristian.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, how you doing?
I am doing well. So before we talk to him, we have to take it away with the news. The news is brought to you in part by the fine folks of sci-fi.radio. That's sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. As well as the fine folks at the Big Apple Con, which we are the official radio show of, celebrating over 26 years of comic bookness and pop culture stuff. For more information, go to www.bigapplecc.com. Their next convention is scheduled for December, all the way in December 17th, which is their Big Apple Christmas Con. Tickets are on sale right now, and I believe they have artist Jim Strankel as one of their headliners. Also want to give out shout-outs for our Patreons, of which there are Danny Grillo, award-winning director Jared Burrell, Kyle Horn, Millie Portez, Newsday famous Dresden Media, Unjikon, Shadow Rabbit Art, Yasmin and Ray, and Rosa. You want to have your own little shout-out? Go to our website, www.itcamefromhere.com. There's a button on there, takes you right to our Patreon page, and just for $1 a month, you can get a shout-out on our show. So as we always do, we always start off with the sad news. So let's start off with the sad news because we have a lot of sad news. So Cristian, you picked a great day to be on our show because we have tons and tons of sad news.
No. Oh, no.
So let's see. First bit of sad news. Manga artist and creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! Kaizu Takahashi, professionally known as Kazuki Takahashi, died recently from drowning. It turns out that Kazuki's body was found by Japanese Coast Guard officers off the shore of Okinawa wearing snorkeling gear with bite marks from a shark. It was later determined that he had died 1 to 2 days prior of his body being found. For those of you who don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Initially was a weekly series published in Japan in the Shonen Jump magazine, where it became a huge success and has sold over 40 million copies. The series was adapted into anime television series and an immensely popular trading card game, which is valued around $17.1 billion. That's with a B dollars. To put things into perspective, Peanuts, everybody knows Peanuts, Charlie Brown, is valued at $16.1 billion with a B dollars. And you have Pokemon, which is valued at $118.5 billion with a B dollars. He was 60 years old. Were you a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! There, Cristian?
No, I never played. I was a little too old for it, but I had early on in my career a couple of commissions to make similar cards for clients. So I'm familiar with the brand very much. And I hadn't heard the way he went. That's crazy. I just, saw that he passed away and wow, that's like something wild.
Yeah, it really is. And joining us is L-Man Jenny Feldy. Say hi.
Hello, from New York City, Delancey Street.
Oh, Delancey.
So you just managed to get in time with our sad news, a ton of sad news today.
Jeez. All right. I guess I'll find out later.
So let's see.
Yeah.
Longtime actor James Caan also died recently. As of this recording, which is July 13th, 2022, no cause of death has been announced. In over his 50-year career, James appeared in such films as Countdown, Brian's Song, The Godfather, and his sequel Godfather 2, Slither, The Gambler, Gone with the West, Dick Tracy, Honeymoon in Vegas, The Program, Bottle Rocket, Eraser, Bulletproof, Poodle Strings, Mickey Blue Eyes, Lucky Town, The Way of the Gun, City of Ghosts, Elf, Wise Gal, Get Smart, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and his sequel, That's My Boy, The Outsider, Sicilian Vampire, The Good Neighbor, and Undercover Grandpa, just to name a few. On a small screen, James appeared in such shows as Magic City, Back in the Game, and of course, his first television series starring role, which was Las Vegas, which I best know him for. I remember I was watching Las Vegas because it was, I forgot the name, Josh Duhamel and Molly Sims was supposed to be, it was supposed to be like a wacky TV show about stuff in Las Vegas. I think it was in the 90s. And
Oh yeah, I remember.
yeah. And I remember an interview where James Caan was like, I didn't like how my character was written, so I told him to change it. And they changed it. I was like, wow, that's so weird.
That's power.
Yeah. Because originally the show was supposed to be about these two people that fell in love, and he was supposed to be the father that didn't approve of the marriage, and he was supposed to be disapproving through the entire episodes. And he's like, that doesn't sound right. I want to be doing stuff. I want to be doing action. And then he like became, are you okay, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah. New York City is just a little crazy right now.
Remember, no swearing.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Actually, I'm glad you reminded me because it's rare. Today's a rare day.
But the fact that it's amazing how he just managed to walk into a series and just completely change his role, and they did it, and the show was very successful for what it was at the time.
I'm a big fan, but actually, the long movie list that you mentioned, doesn't mention the number one movie that I like him in, which is called Thief by Michael Mann.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's one of the very first like neo-noir kind of criminal angle of films. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the list was so long, so sometimes you just have to pick a few. But yeah, I do remember Thief. I do remember that. I remember it existing. I don't think I've ever seen it, but I remember it existing.
It's so good. There's a great scene in that because he's just trying to make one big score and he doesn't have a lot of skills. And then my favorite scene is like he's talking with this girl he really likes, and they're in a diner, and he says, all I really got is like my little magic trick, like I'm just kind of playing this card over and over, like that he doesn't have any skills. Right. And I feel like I could relate that as a freelancer sometimes, like I feel that sometimes I'm just like, I just have like this little bag of tricks, that's just getting me through in life.
Wow, so that's a very profound connection you made with him.
Oh yeah.
Movie. Oh, so he was.
And I look like him.
You don't sound like him though. I tell you that much.
I don't look like him. That's a joke for people that would be able to see me.
So he was 82. Let's see. So moving on for even more sad news. More sad news. Actor Tony Sirico, 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 also died recently, just 3 weeks before his 80th birthday. Much like the others, no cause of death has been announced. Tony appeared in such films as The One-Man Jury, Defiance, Love and Money, The Last Flight, The Pickup Artist, Hello Again, Cookie, Goodfellas, Innocent Blood, The New York Cop, Romeo is Bleeding, Bullets Over Broadway, Dead Presidents, Mighty Aphrodite, Everyone Says I Love You, Deconstructing Harry, Copland, Mickey Blue Eyes, It Had to Be You, Karma Calling, Cafe Society, and Wonder Wheel, just to name a few. On the small screen, Tony appeared in such shows / major TV movies as In the Shadow of a Killer, Witness to the Mob, Elmo's Christmas Countdown, Jersey Shore, Shark Attack. Now I got to see that movie. And of course, for 74 episodes of the cable series The Sopranos, which ran from 1999 to 2007. He was 79 years old. Now, I've never watched Sopranos. Now, Jen, did you used to watch Sopranos? Am I right about that?
Not much, really. Nah, not much.
What about you, Cristian? You a Sopranos fan?
I never seen it, but I never seen one episode. I hear it's good though.
That's what they say. That's what they say. So Let's see. So moving on, we have two more bits of sad news from actor Gregory Itzin, Itzin, also died recently due to complications during an emergency surgery. While Greg appeared in a slew of TV movies and shows and theatrical movies in almost his 40-year acting career, I, Mark, know him personally best as Charles Logan in 44 episodes of the Fox series 24, which ran from 2004 to 2010. I remember his character. He played the president after the third president. So it was David Palmer was the first president in 24 series with Kiefer Sutherland. Then they had a nice guy, and then this president. And he was such a detachment from the other two presidents. He was he played the villain and he also played the hero. He was a very wide range character, which is very rare for a series that you see on TV. So I thought, and he brought believability to the role. So no matter if he was playing the villain, if he was playing the hero, if he was playing the middle ground, you really believed his motivation and his acting. And I think it was really good for that. Were you a fan of 24, Christian?
I'm sorry to say, that's another show I don't watch. I haven't watched a lot of shows. I'm more of a film guy.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Jen, are you a 24 fan? Should I ask? Should I keep going? I think Jen is driving. Don't talk and drive. She's definitely talking, driving and talking.
She's muted.
I don't know if she knows if she's muted or not.
Yeah. So welcome to the modern age.
All right, so moving on.
No, I said I can talk and drive. I just can't text and drive.
Okay, yeah. So were you a fan of 24 by chance?
No, of course not.
that was a lot of effort to get there.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So final bit of sad news. Let's finish the sad news off. Music composer Monty Norman also died recently. Also, no cause has been announced. Norman is best known for writing the James Bond theme song, heard in 25 of the James Bond films, starting way back in 1962 with Dr. No, all the way up to No Time to Die. What's interesting about this is that Norman was hired to score the entire film of Dr. No, only to be replaced by John Barry, who went on to score 11 additional James Bond films. And until a lawsuit was filed and one claimed that he was the creator of the theme song. So he wasn't even getting credit for most of his career as the guy who created the James Bond theme song. But now, because of legalities, he is now legally recognized as the man who created the James Bond theme song. Now, I know you've seen it at least.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Who's James Bond?
Yeah, what's James Bond?
Yeah.
Is it like something you use to caulk your bathroom? Like you come out, you're like, oh, a little James Bond, it goes right in.
We'll caulk that right up.
I think technically you should be able to trademark that for a different product, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, actually, as long as it's not legally confusing, you can have James Bond adhesive.
Yeah, just don't have a mascot with like a tuxedo on the cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Jimmy Bonds.
Jimmy Bond. I like it.
Yeah, just in the Jimmy. If you got to Jimmy it in, just Jimmy it in.
So that's it for the sad news. Let's move on to the not as sad news, as we always like to do. Let's see. From the That's a Lot of Nuts department.
That's a lot of nuts.
The new Thor sequel has taken the #1 spot in the domestic box office, pulling in $144 million in ticket sales in its very first week of release, knocking off the new Minion sequel, which made an additional $46 million in its second week of release. For those of you keeping track, the new Top Gun sequel is still the highest grossing film of this year, 2022, with $599 million, followed by the Doctor Strange sequel with $411 million. The aforementioned Thor comes in at number 8. So I don't think, as we've been discussing this for a while on the show, that Thor will be the one to knock Top Gun off. And I think, I can't think of any other movie out there that could beat Top Gun as being the highest grossing film of this year.
Zoolander 3.
Zoolander 3, of course. What was your movie? Wait, what movie were you filming today, Jen?
Not Zoolander 3, but I wish I was. But this is cool. That was cool. I'm just hoping to put that in the universe so it happens, you know?
Okay, all right. Zoolander 3. All right, sure, why not? Christian, what do you think? Do you think is any movie that can beat Top Gun at the box office for this year, rest of the year?
No.
Well, I don't know what's still due to come out, but it's got to come out soon. Like if it's got to generate over 500 million.
Well, see, that's the thing. So if you can't even think of a movie that's coming out between now and the end of the year, obviously the marketers are not doing their job, and therefore they're not generating enough buzz for this movie to come out, whatever it may be, if it actually does exist.
My question is Doctor Strange and Thor really that good?
I saw Doctor Strange. I thought it was decent. I felt it was better than the Spider-Man. I am a tough critic, and I'm tougher on bigger budget movies because they have a big budget, so they can do things that the independent guys cannot. So the independent guys get more leeway. But if you're a big budget movie, you're throwing millions and millions of dollars at this, you better get it right.
You're right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I have yet to see Thor, so I'll let you know when it comes out.
Even people with money are dumb, Mark.
This is true.
Yeah, there's a lot of dumb people with money.
This is very true.
Yeah, there's a lot of poor intellectuals too.
That's right.
Christian, did you see Thor and or Doctor Strange?
Should I put my hand up? No, I'm an indie, indie publisher, indie comic creator. So I tend to not want to support these Marvel and DC projects, but also they're not really what I actually gravitate to. I like something a little bit more sophisticated. I feel like they're for children, and it's like I don't think anybody over 30 should go to them.
Wow, wow. All right. I guess that's the gauntlet has been thrown down.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, so let's see. Moving on. Let's see. From the shameless self-promotion department, none other than creator and host of this very show that you're listening to right now has finally managed to make the jump into the crowdfunding world. Designated, a 5-part series tells the story of 2 warring alien races and the teens that are caught in the middle, is currently, as of this show's broadcast, on Kickstarter. Mark says, with, at the time of this recording, 170 days to go before a life-changing event, it would be greatly appreciated if you check out my book that has been 30 years in the making. If for whatever reason you're unable to financially support this project, share it on your social media. Someone you may know who isn't aware of the book might just be able to help make it a reality. So let's go to Kickstarter and type in designated and spread that word around. I think we lost our co-host, then, and maybe she's driving under a tunnel.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
All right, so let's see. So then we'll move on to the next bit of news. From the editor insert movie clip here department. As most of you know, I was and still am a huge Norm Macdonald fan. And as mentioned on a previous episode of the show, we mentioned that none other than Netflix had produced a Norm stand-up special titled Nothing Special after he died, based on the material that he obviously recorded before his death. Now, none other than the Emmys has just announced a nomination for Norm in the Outstanding Variety Special Pre-Recorded category. Of course, we here at The Came For Real have a dubious relationship with award shows, but I feel at least it's nice that he's being recognized. Christian, were you a Norm Macdonald fan?
I'm a huge Norm Macdonald fan. In fact, he and I are from the same hometown, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I couldn't watch all of his new special because I don't know. It's like that close-up is a little much. I feel like his delivery is too, like, almost needy in a close-up, because it seems like he's overselling all his deliveries. But he could be anxious because he had to go into surgery the next day. But I'm a huge fan. I feel like his top performance is Norm Macdonald Live. I rewatch those all the time. Like every single day I rewatch those. I think he's amazing. He's like brilliant.
Did you ever watch his 2 movies, Dirty Work and Screwed?
I haven't seen Screwed, but I've seen Dirty Work, and I've read his book twice, and I have a review on YouTube of it.
Okay. So Dirty Work is like one of my favorite movies of all time, and I have like an emotional connection to it for various reasons. I've mentioned it before. It was the last movie I saw with my mom before she had died. And for your mom, who's like an old lady, in the theaters, watching a movie and just laughing her butt off at some of these jokes that were questionable, it's an experience you can never recreate. It's like, my mom's laughing at this, she's laughing at this, and then it's like the one part when the jail, as I'm sure you remember, she just flipped, and I'm like, who is this person I'm sitting next to? How is she finding this hilarious? So that made it even more funny for me. And she just loved that part. It was just mind-boggling how we had a connection over this movie, and then I enjoyed it so much, and then she enjoyed it, so it was a nice little thing. So on top of me enjoying the movie, it has that extra level to it.
Yeah, that's a great movie. I mean, that I've seen several times, and I know the bit, like where he's, the warden, ridiculous. I have a mind to go to the warden about this.
Exactly. So speaking of the Emmys, Netflix's Squid Game is now the first non-English language series ever to be nominated for an Emmy, let alone 5 that it has received. It got an Emmy for lead nominations, I should say, lead actor, lead supporting actress, outstanding drama series, which, I always wondered about that. What about the regular drama series? Like, why does it have to be outstanding drama series? And 2 supporting actor nominations. I have never seen Squid Game. Apparently, it's Netflix's highest watched show. So I guess I might be missing out. Cristian, did you see Squid Game at all?
No, but I'm a little worried. I'll tell you why. Last time a foreign film was nominated, and won all these awards, it was Parasite. And then right after it won, we went in 2 years of a pandemic. So I don't know. I'm trying not to find patterns, but hopefully there's no patterns.
That's a good one. All right. All right. So moving on. Let's see. Speaking of Netflix, from the editor, insert second clip here department. In an attempt to get more subscribers watching their programs, none other than Netflix has announced that they are releasing a new spatial audio option for the more popular titles such as Stranger Things, The Witcher, The Adam Project, Squid Game, with more movies and TV series to be upgraded in the future. Executives say often the subtlety of sound goes unnoticed, but it can have a profound impact on the atmosphere of a scene and fundamentally change the audience's response. Some of the most iconic moments in TV and film are defined by immersive moments they create in sound. Netflix spatial audio helps translate the cinematic experience of immersive audio to any stereo, so the work creators do to bring the story happens no matter what device you use to watch Netflix. This magical combination of sight and sound will bring viewers closer to the story, and we're really excited to add this capability to other features we support. Now, I used to work in a movie theater, and the one thing that was a big draw in the movie theaters was the sound. They felt that the screens could only get as good as you can get them because it has to do with the projector, the actual screen itself. That's where the 3D projectors came in because it was just more money and the ticket prices went up. But sound, you can just throw money in there. So do you think that having a streaming service, putting all this money into sound is a good idea, or best use of their money, especially since we know how Netflix has been having some trouble recently with money and subscribers?
Yeah, I don't know if it's wise. I feel like any improvement is good, though. I can speak that I love Dolby, and movies in Dolby sound are noticeably better in the theaters, especially because usually a Dolby theater also has better seats, but they can't guarantee that. So I'm sure I don't know. I mean, I think somebody should lead the pack in like a total, like streaming experience in terms of sound and visual. And they certainly have the largest investors, maybe Disney too.
I think it's kind of weird because as the biggest complaint about streaming services is and movies on streaming services is that people don't watch it in the traditional television setting. They watch it on the phone, they watch it on the train. So like, do you really need that extra level for sound, or should they just be focusing more on better content? I think if they had to pick one, if you're gonna throw money at it, content is the way to go.
Well, is it coming from some sort of poll that they've taken? Does the article say that?
No, it does not. It just says that that's what they decided to throw money at sound, because sound is the only thing you can really enhance in these situations. Like for Netflix, you put it on whatever device you're watching it is, that's how good the quality is. It can't get any better on streaming services. But the sound you can play with a little bit. You can add audio tracks, you can have all this stuff, and then it's up to the device that you're listening to be able to translate and you can hear better.
I don't know, Mark. I mean, I feel any improvement is good improvement.
Yeah, fair enough.
If they have the resources to do it, why not?
That's a valid argument. So that's it for the news. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with It Came from the Radio. That's right.
Hey everybody, this is Todd McFarlane of the record-setting Spawn comic series. And if you're looking for any kind of cool conversation about creators, about entertainment, about all that good stuff, you go to It Came From The Radio. You're listening to the right spot.
This is Quentin Flynn, a popular voice actor known for Axel, Timon, and Raiden from the Metal Gear series. And you're listening to It Came From The Radio. Stick around.
Hey, I'm Mike Kingston, the writer and creator of Headlocked. And I am WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler. And guess what you're listening to? You're listening to It Came From The Radio.
Hi, this is Amy Jo Johnson, writer-director from the film The Space Between, and you're listening to It Came From The Radio.
I'll tell you, meet Gridlock having fun on It Came From The Radio. Meet Greg Berger also.
Now, back to our show.
And welcome back to It Came From the Radio, the officially Big Apple Con. We are here live, virtually distanced, of course, courtesy of the East Meadow Public Library for our 58th live show. I am here with none other than our special guest who we're going to be talking to with and about, who we have been talking to with and about, which is awesome because he's here. It's Cristian S. Aluas.
Hi, Mark. How you doing? I'm back.
So I want to mention that the East Meadow Public Library has tons and tons of programming. Every day they usually have something going on. Most of it is free. So just go to www.eastmeadow.info for more information. Our show is always on the second Wednesday of every month. Go make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you register for all the programs. Like I said, most of them are free, and they have varied stuff between our show. They have yoga, they have drawing, they have all kinds of things for all ages. So make sure you guys go check that out. So Cristian, I guess the first question, which is, what does the S stand for?
Oh my God, I was afraid of that. It stands for Sabine.
Ah.
Yeah, it's my middle name. I've always signed CSA as an acronym on all my artwork, so then I keep retaining the S. But you're one of the few people that even cares to ask. You know, I shed a tear each time I mention my name and nobody asks.
Well, I always find that whenever a person makes it a point to have the middle initial, you should ask what it's for. I'm curious because I don't know if you're aware, but some actors make up a middle initial that don't mean anything. For example, the one I think off the top of my head would be Michael J. Fox. The J doesn't mean anything.
Oh, it doesn't.
No, because there was another Michael Fox, and the way the Screen Actors Guild goes, you cannot have the same person have the same name. So he had to add the J, and it's like J, and that's how he became Michael J. Fox. Yeah, see?
Oh, I see. Yeah, similar case for me.
So you started in Canada.
Yeah.
As an artist, an animator. What was your passion to start off with, and then how did you wind up in Manhattan? What you're doing now?
By way of Vegas, because I lived in Vegas for 3 years.
Really?
Yeah. So so I started out in Canada, but I think I was always. Well, first in high school, I published a comic book. It was kind of more of a zine, and then I distributed it myself. And then I went to college for animation. But my idea in college was to expand on those skills as an artist and maybe get out of like the work I was doing at the time, because I took, like, I finished high school and then I took a year off, and then I was working at a fast food place named Harvey's Restaurant in Canada, and I was like, well, if I don't do any college, this is it. This is the end of the road. And that was a really a depressing thing. So then I did college for that. And then I worked in the field briefly, but then I also did a couple of years of creative writing and studio art in university after that. And then after that, I figured, like, hey, I have enough skills to just be an artist. So then I quit everything. Thank you. Yeah. So I just quit everything. And then I was broke for 4 years. and then what happened? And then I started to teach in little community centers for the city. And then I started to have like art shows. I would bring my art to like raves. And I would have I would have a booth like you'd see in the comic convention. So I'd have a table and I'd have like a box with like small artworks you could flip through like comics. And then sometimes I would like have a large canvas and I'd do paintings. And then so all kinds of people that were high would approach me. And occasionally
was it a requirement that they had to be high to approach you? Was that like a sign out there?
No, it was I just assumed. I guess I didn't mean to sound judgmental. But.
Why raves? How come raves? Why not libraries or gyms or grocery stores? Why raves?
Oh no, I was doing that too. It was just like whatever opportunities come. Like whatever opportunities. Like a lot of bars would have kind of live painting. So it didn't cost me anything to just do some live painting. Sometimes they'd have an art auction during that same night where a lot of artists would just kind of bring their artwork all just that night, and people bid on it. And so it's like all really odd opportunities to just make a living.
Really cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you
find and how long did that go on for, that stage of like hustling and going to random places?
Well, yeah, so that stage was basically, this is what I was doing during that stage. Well, the quick answer is it maybe like 8 years. Like
okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because I was doing teaching on mostly weekends at a community center. I was serving and doing commissions online on like websites like freelancer.com and guru.com. And then I would just try to have like art shows in cafes and, hustle and sell paintings wherever I could.
Interesting. Yeah, very interesting.
Do you find
that was my business model?
Hustle. That's a great business model, actually. Hustle.
That's why I'm weird on this call. I'm hustling. I'm working today.
Do you find it to be extra pressure to paint while people are watching you?
No. It's if I wasn't painting out, I'd be just at home painting, and that's kind of boring. So it was an opportunity for me to socialize, and during those years, I never afforded myself the luxury to go out and only just socialize. I always combined it with some sort of business venture, and I I never drank. I stopped smoking. I used to smoke 3 packs a day for 8 years.
What? Oh my God.
Cold turkey when I became professional, and because I was broke, I couldn't afford it. So I stopped dating for several years, and then and then I would just work.
Now, did anyone ever say anything to you, or did anything ever happen that made you quit or feel like quitting? Were you almost quit?
Being an artist?
Yes.
Well, I burned every other bridge. That's the trick.
Okay.
You don't give yourself like a way
An
to go
out.
back. Yeah. So
Okay.
because I used to work in animation studios, and my animation friends know this. Well, when I came back from university, I made one mistake where I went in and I was a little cocky because I did more than the college guys. I went, studied creative writing and studio art and stuff. So I thought it was a big shot. So I walked in the studio. We're all like mingling in this, and then so how like a place, the people that work there, they can badmouth, everybody in the show and in the business. So they were saying, "Oh, this show sucks. The scripts are so terrible." And I chime in. I say, "Yeah, I mean, I could write a better script with my eyes closed." And then the director was there. So then for many months, they wouldn't hire me until eventually they my friends put in a good word. But by that time, I kind of lost my mind because I was working at a Staples. I was working at a like a coffee house. And then I got fired from a newsstand. That was very emotional.
How'd you get fired from a newsstand?
Well, I just sucked. I wasn't sociable. I wasn't sociable at all.
You have to be sociable to be in a newsstand? I don't know anything about this.
You have no idea how strange a time it was. Right at that moment when I was transitioning and burning bridges. So my friends, vouched for me, and they said, like, bring this guy in. It's like pathetic. We go to Staples and he's like just stacking shelves. And, he's really talented. So they finally called me. They bring me in, but by then I was too late. I had already set my mind that I didn't want to accept the job. But I took it for like a day, and then I
quit.
Staple. No, this was at the animation studio.
Oh.
Yeah. So I took that, and that could have been lucrative because I was making good money as an animator. But then I quit immediately because I was just kind of like, it was a strange time in my head at that time. And so then I burned that bridge, and then I could never go back. It's just, and now it's too late. I mean, I do, like, one of my projects now is a music video that I'm animating, but
cool.
I have, I still do, I still use my skills, but I don't work with any of those studios that I did before.
Do you miss it? Do you wish you were working for these studios?
No, because the problem is they don't let you take a nap.
Oh,
when you want to.
Like, that's why I left the set. They're all going to eat cannolis after. I said, "Excuse me, I got a radio show and I got a nap. I got to sleep." And you always want to mix your business with pleasure. And we did business all day. Why are we cannolis? That's not healthy. Right. So I'm with you on the mix. You got to, everything has to have a purpose, I feel like, and it adds up.
Yeah. Well, I have another little animation story. I worked on this feature film called the Triplets of Belleville. Anybody heard of it?
I have not.
Okay. Well, it's kind of a notable thing. Anyway, I got fired for sleeping on my desk. So,
oh my God.
But the point is that, like, now as a freelancer, I mean, if I am, like, tired, I could lay down and nobody's like,
right.
So
why were you so tired? Like, what were the hours like?
I'm just using an example. I wasn't like that tired. Yeah, I wasn't that tired. I was just using, like, I'm just saying I'm in charge of my own regiment. And
I'm just curious though, but if you were sleeping at your desk, like, what made you sleep at your desk? Like, why are you so tired?
Well, yeah, I was just like
raves because you're going to raves.
No, at that point it was different. I was unmotivated by the job because I had there was every workstation in animation studio has one job that's revolving that nobody can ever keep, and nobody's ever good enough for that job, and it's always like grunt work. So I had to in between these drawings, and they were really boring work. So I was not motivated. I thought it was like not a good use of my talents.
Got it.
And then, so I would just like take smoke breaks every hour and then sleep on my desk.
So the job puts you to sleep. So anyone with insomnia, maybe they should get this job.
Yeah, but you're gonna get fired.
I think most jobs don't like you when you're sleeping on the job.
Yeah.
Unless you're in a sleep study.
There you go.
Yeah.
You were right.
Or you're
Yeah.
hired by a necrophiliac. They probably like it. Or no, they're dead. You play dead.
It's terrible.
Like that.
It's terrible.
And I don't know. I'm not gonna touch that.
There you go. Not taking a bait. Good job. Good job.
touch
You're
it.
learning.
I'll touch it.
You're learning.
Take the bait. Take the bait.
So how does all this translate to you writing a book?
Well, well, initially it started when I wrote "It's a Living." What the first concept was that I wanted to write a memoir. Like everybody always, wants. They think their life is interesting and they want to write a book.
To them, it is.
Yeah. So that was me. I thought my life was interesting, and it is interesting the way I say it. So
you think?
Yeah. So I think. So but I'm just a dude. Like Norm Macdonald says, I'm just a dude.
Right.
So I'm not like anybody famous that's going to sell a bunch of books. So my initial title, based on that, was going to be on that Melvin and the Blue Notes tune. If you don't know me by now, that was going to be the title. So I figured, well, nobody's waiting for my memoir, so why don't I try to give something back and make it useful in a way. So I decided to focus the book not on my romantic escapades or anything like that.
Did you have a lot of romantic escapades?
So I didn't want to focus on that.
Okay.
We're just going right past that. Let's keep it going.
This is like the Epstein trial. I plead the 4th, the 15th, the 27th, 29th. Okay. All right.
No, I'm kidding. So anyway, I didn't want to focus on anything that was like kind of, it doesn't have value if the reader doesn't really necessarily know me or identify with me. So that's why I focus on a certain period of my freelancing career, my professional career, and then it does have some personal anecdotes within that, like life lessons. So it's very philosophical and very literate, I like to think. It has like an arc in the way the chapters are put, and then there's like a lot of meaty and useful information about being a freelancer and working for yourself in general.
So what is the biggest surprise that you can convey as being a freelancer that people don't really think about?
Yeah, what people really don't think about?
Yeah, like if you say I'm a freelancer, they normally think of certain things. But you can say, this one thing that no one ever really thinks about, but this is like, that's the biggest surprise. Oh, wow, I didn't know freelancers do this.
Well, I don't know. In my experience, I feel I had to do things the hard way. And I think some freelancers come about it easier, or maybe they make it look easier. But I am a freelancer, but I don't see myself as that. I see myself as an artist, and as an artist, I feel you should always be striving to build like your character and to learn new things all the time, and that's actually like also what I struggle with, because sometimes in my career, I'll hit on either like an art style or like a type of job that works, and I could just do that nonstop and like put all my eggs in that basket and make a decent living. But I get anxious. It's not about maybe not anxious, but I get restless. And I want to, once I feel like I've mastered something, I want to do something else because I want to challenge myself. So maybe that's the challenge. If anybody is like somewhat like me, you know, it's focus. It's like kind of sticking with one thing and elaborating on one aspect of your career where you can join all your interests. That's the challenge. And so you kind of, you have all your interests, and if you can funnel them into like one business model of like a couple of things, you know, main things that you do, I think that's probably the road to long-term success and happiness.
I was
Yeah, I
at
agree.
I was at a convention 2 weeks ago, and I was overhearing a conversation, and the lady was like, the one thing about being an artist is that you're born with the need to create. It doesn't matter how
Yeah.
good your skill is or anything else. That's what you need to do, is create. You have to keep on creating. So I think it's kind of a similar thing of what you're saying, that you just have to keep on doing, keep on moving forward, and keep on making more.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think would be Cristian doing 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
Yeah, I want to know.
Oh, thanks, Jen.
I do.
Well, I always make business plans. I make them 2, 5, and like 2 5 years, and then I have like long-term visions of, you know, like ideals of, you know, when I retire, what sort of work I want to do. So I always have like general ideas of that. But right now I'm rebranding my art school, and that's the long-term goal, which is masterpieceartschool.com. That's my main focus. I decided to focus on that during the pandemic when I pivoted. I was writing a couple of feature screenplays, and I decided to then adapt one of them into a novel, which I'm still rewriting now, and then I rebranded my art school and started recording new courses.
Are you gonna have a theme song? Masterpiece Art Theater. My old man couldn't be weirder. Welcome. Like, are you gonna have a jingle, maybe?
No, but I'm gonna have like a fake robot.
Fake robot?
Yeah,
as opposed to a real robot?
Wasn't that like on one of the shows? Like, I don't know, like just a fake like square boxy robot?
Oh God, I don't know. I don't know. I just thought a jingle would be cool, you know, for the whole brand.
Do you want to help me with that, Jen?
I don't mind. Sure.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
All right. So then we'll work on a jingle.
Jingle all the way. Masterpiece
all the
theater.
way, baby.
Masterpiece theater.
So, as an artist, do you find yourself being more critical or less critical of your students?
Well, no, I'm very encouraging. You know, and my long-term students, they don't need me to sugarcoat things, you know, but like new students, I would, you know, I'd be very, very careful not to discourage them because they have an interest and they're trying. Whatever effort they're making, you know, is, you know, that's all you can ask. I mean, that's all they're capable of. So you can't demand anything of them that they're not capable of.
You could do what one teacher I know does. They hook them, they're nice for the first few classes, and then then they lay the hammer down. It's like, oh boy, you're already MK Ultra, and you're already in, and you're already under the spell, and you're like, this is my teacher, and this is my sensei, and then he's real mean. You could do that.
Is that the plan? Is that how it works?
It is how it works for some classes, yes. Yes.
You've taken classes like
There's
these,
2 people
Jen?
I'm thinking of.
Oh,
yes.
these must be like workout
classes. It's almost like MK
something.
Ultra abuse. No, they're not. They are performance classes. Yes.
Well, no, I wouldn't say I'm like that, but I can tell if somebody's got talent and you know, the thing is, I don't know if this is the right thing to say, like as an art teacher, but if you if you truly, you can, well, here's the thing, you can have talent,
Okay.
but ambition and drive are harder to come by. Because so I was going to say initially that, like, you know, if you had talent, you wouldn't go to an art teacher. But the thing is, yeah. But the thing is that, like, to get good on your own, you have to have a lot of drive and a lot of perseverance and a lot of obsession, and even when you're and adaptability. That's the thing. It's like you're only so good, and then also I have a theory that, like, at a certain age, like between your teens, like up to 20, early 20s, that's your developmental period, brain-wise. So if you haven't, like, mastered the most complex things to some degree at that point, you know, even if you, like, kind of like go, okay, this is as much as I could do, but, like, you know, you have, I mean, like, I'm still learning things and trying to get better at things. But at that stage, you really have to be like competitive, like on a competitive level. And if you don't have that, you know, if you think you're gonna moonlight, like drawing half an hour a week while you have some other job that you're not passionate about, and then you're playing video games or watching Netflix the rest of the time, you're not gonna ever build a career. It's just a reality.
Right.
But if you're curious to take my course, you can see what my career is like, you know.
Right.
but that, you know, that's all, like, that you're going to get out of it is, like, entertainment.
Well, here's one thing that I think is important about school, at least my outlook on life, because I do a lot of different things like makeup school, cosmetology school. I like to learn the rules of what the standards are, so then I can break them, and it's like, so at least I know what the standards are. Okay, a film set expects this level of hair and makeup drawing. Okay, cool. That's the standard. Now I do. And if you don't have schooling, you don't often know what the standards are. So it's hard to know where you fit in and have, I think, like a perspective of what the professionals are doing.
Yeah.
So I like school for that level, and then I just do my own thing.
Yeah. I totally believe that you do need school, you know, whether it's collegial or whether it's like just, you know, if you can only afford, like, you know, a certificate course or just an online course. I think you need something for sure. Collegial, just like any big schools, like I'm a small online school, but like any big school, and I've taught at a collegial level, it's tricky because, you know, they need tuition. So they have to pass everybody. I mean, that's what I actually fought with the school about, was, you know, everybody was not handing in work, you know, so it's like I had to fail a couple of people, and they were upset with me, and then students were upset that I was marking them hard, but they didn't have complete projects, you know, so you're still required to pass them and make classes easy and not be a hard ass.
At college?
Yeah.
See, I thought it was the opposite, because if you fail someone, now they have to take the class again. Now they make more money. No?
Well,
but would they want to take the class again?
I mean, I went to American University and they had this thing, freshman forgiveness. So basically, if you fail everything, you can take it over. They wipe it off your thing, but you still have to pay for the classes. Genius money making.
Well, if they have the money, I mean, because they could just drop out, you know.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I did that and I didn't drop out. Yeah.
That's good.
I could have graduated in 3.5 years. I graduated in 5 because I said, let's just fail everything.
Yeah.
So we are now at social media time. So where can people find out more about your classes, your book, all that stuff, and your website?
Well, I have to say that I have a book coming out September 1st, and it's an awesome book. And it's like an instructional book called Easy and Fun Cartooning Techniques for Drawing Comics and Manga.
Oh, cool. Really cool.
It's excellent. It really, because I used to teach cartooning for, you know, drawing comics for many years through school. And then I've done a lot of comics for myself and indie creators. And I've taken all that over the course of my, you know, near 20-year career now, and I've compiled it into a very, very dense, super packed format of 100 pages. So that's coming out September 1st, and you're going to see previews very, very soon on masterpieceartschool.com. And there's other courses there. Social media, Instagram, Masterpiece Art School, at Masterpiece Art School on Instagram, and that's about it. I mean, I have my own website, which is csa1.ca. It just has like some things, but mostly the art school is like where I'm most active. Oh, and I have a YouTube channel. You just look up Masterpiece Art School.
So with we have less than 4 minutes to go. So quickly, what is the biggest do and don't as an artist you should throw out there?
Good question.
Do's and don'ts.
Just one of each.
Just one.
Well, you have to like really, you have to really work hard. It's like, it's a shame. Like sometimes it's a hustle thing. And because if you work for a company and you're just, you're getting minimum wage sometimes, like $15 an hour or something, to work for, let's say, a realtor, you're like the graphic designer on call in their office. That's not fun. It's not very satisfying. Also, there's a statistic that I cited in It's a Living that freelancers, and there's like a billion freelancers in the US. Sorry, not in a billion. It's not a billion. It's a billion, I think, in income. I forget. So, but anyway, all the freelancers in different industries like entertainment, the average income is $28 to $30 an hour.
Okay.
That's the average. So it's like if you settled to do something art related for some small firm for less than that, I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't be very like satisfying. But to do what I do and what Jen does and some other really high level creatives, I think, is to hustle, to do a lot of things at once. And that's a challenge. And that it kind of comes back to like what I was saying earlier, where like if you can funnel all your interests into one area, which is what I'm trying to do with Masterpiece Art School currently, that's hopefully like what you should try to do. So the do is that
Hustle.
Yeah, like you have to be prepared to hustle and not be ashamed of that. In fact, like, I mean, I love to think of all my like rave days or whatever when I was, doing live paintings and things. And the don'ts.
We don't have time for a don't. We're almost out of time. We got less than a minute.
Okay.
Oh no.
Don't give up. Don't give up.
Buy his books. You'll know all the don'ts. Right?
Yeah.
September 1st.
There you go.
Well, yeah, and then It's a Living is out. There's an audiobook. It's on Amazon. It's on everything. So It's a Living: Surviving as a Freelancer in the 21st Century. Look it up.
All right, so that about does it for this week on The Came From the Radio. Join us right here any week on this radio station. If you miss any part of the show, go to our website. There you go. Thank you, Jen. www.camefromradio.com. Archives will be up in a week or so. Our next live show will be on August the 10th. We have a film actress, producer, and creator, Jerry Glennon McKeever, as our guest. So with that, we'll see you next time.
See you later.
You've been listening to It Came From the Radio with Mark Torres. The views of the show's hosts and guests did not necessarily reflect that of the management, owners, or staff of the station. We now return you to your earthly scheduled broadcast.